Welcome back to Sabres Live here on Wednesday. And yes, I am excited for this segment coming up. Just like Duffer is so excited when Shayna Goldman comes on every Friday, because Tessa Bonhomme of the PWHL Jocks In Jills podcast, she's fantastic. Gold medal at the 2010 Olympics for Team Canada. She's joining us to talk about the Takeover Tour and other things. Tessa, how was the beer game hockey last night?
My beer league game. Look, Marty, I had mentioned on our podcast that my team has been losing recently. And it's not just losing, like we've been getting spanked. Like we're 5 minutes in and we're already down 3-0. And it's beer league. I get it. I'm there for the post-game beverages and the chicken wings. But like you, I'm sure you know, when things start to go awry a little too much, your competitive connection in your brain reconnects. And all of a sudden I'm yelling at people to back check. Like it's beer league. They don't want to back check. We're on Olympic size ice. Like we are not interested in back checking. And I'm giving people heck. And I'm like, who am I? Like, why am I doing this? So I was like, I'm going to dial it back a bit. So last night we played and one of my teammates looked at her. I'm like, let's just have fun out there. She's like, yeah, but like, let's at least keep it close. So I was like, okay, good. We're on the same page.
Okay. You'll be a great coach, Tessa. Yelling about back checking, competitiveness. Like you should be a coach.
I don't know. I feel like I'm just best probably tucked away in the corner by myself where no one can see or hear me.
Tessa, how good are things right now for the PWHL with the excitement here in Buffalo of the takeover game coming up on Sunday? But give us the wide brush right now on where the league is at and why even more people should be excited about what we're going to see on Sunday.
Well, it's in a lot better place than my beer league record. That's for darn sure. Albeit we only lost last night by 2. I just want to clarify that it wasn't as bad as all the others. The league's thriving. I think it's fantastic. Yeah, the Takeover Tour, obviously, it hit the ground running when Amy Shear had mentioned, the league was accepting bids for teams that were willing to host an expansion team. Now, whether that expansion happens this year or in 3 years from now, I'm not sure. However, I think it was really cool to see how many cities actually were eager and willing and excited, and their fan bases. It all started out in Seattle. We were there for that one. And to be honest, I wasn't quite sure what to expect. I was like, they have filled the place. I guess it's good. First of all, that arena is wicked. I love that city. Yeah. And man, they showed up and showed out. It was loud in there and they got all their money's worth. The game went into overtime in a shootout. It was awesome. And then Vancouver followed that up. And then Denver, I'm like, Denver's a good sports city, but like women's hockey, not sure. And then they blew the top off it. I was like, holy shnikes. Like, there's a lot of places that could and want to host a PWHL women's hockey team that are going to have packed rinks, similarly to Toronto and Ottawa, how they have every single game, and Montreal as well. And I feel like, it's nice because I always knew the product was there. I always knew the appetite was there, but now we're actually seeing it city to city to city to city. And like all the cities I mentioned, they're sports cities. Are they hockey cities? Probably not compared to Buffalo. I mean, Buffalo's a hockey city in my mind, right? I've gone to hockey tournaments there growing up. It just feels like all the places that the league is stopping in are places that just, like I said, have that appetite. The last one we came from was Edmonton. The one prior to that was Quebec City. All of them, like I said, showed up and showed out. And the fact that I don't think people understand just how crazy the travel schedule is for these women. And once they get to a city, it's not like they're just getting to the hotel, ordering room service, getting treatment and a massage. They're like out in the community, rubbing elbows with these young ladies, trying to inspire the next generation. And then this is like an all-day affair. And then they've got practice, and then they got training, and then they got video session, and they're getting up the next day and doing interviews and all this stuff. And then they're going to the game and performing. And they're actually putting fantastic product on the ice on top of having to do all of this other stuff. So, I'm going to say it here. I'll say it a million times over, but this league and the ladies that play in it is the best league in the entire world. And the fact that they are superstars, they are celebrities, but they in no means act like it. They're so humble. They're so down to earth. They have time for every fan. And if you just look at their social media platforms and the way they present themselves or the way they do interviews, it's not I always call it, the saltine crackers. Sometimes you get interviews from guys in the NHL, NFL, wherever, and you're just like, oh my gosh, like, is there any personality in there? You never get that with these women. There's always something fun, awesome, and they've always got an angle. It's just great. I love everything about the league. Call me biased because I played women's hockey, but I'm a sports fan. I worked at SportsCenter at TSN covering Habs and stuff with Marty. I love all sports, but there are no athletes like these ones that no one compares on a consistent basis across an entire league.
So it is the New York Sirens and the Boston Fleet at KeyBank Center on Sunday at 4 p.m. Tessa, who should we watch for on those two teams? Because you talk about these women that are superstars, and I think fans are going to say, like, hey, who are we going to see and who should we pay attention to?
Well, let's just start with Boston and the GOAT in the United States, who is Hillary Knight. I mean, she's a weapon. Fun to watch, terrible to play against. I can speak to that. She's a nightmare. She's got one heck of a shot. It's a cannon, and she's got a big body. She's so hard to defend, and she's so smart. It's wild the way she processes the game. It's wild the way she's been in the game for so long and has still managed to be the best. There's Susanna Tapani, who is her centerman. She's from Finland. She's actually she's the Wayne Gretzky of ringette. I'm not lying. She's a multifaceted athlete. She's unreal. She's a big, strong centerman who dishes the puck well, but has a knack around the net, and she's feisty. She's feisty as hell. I love it. The other player on that team that I watch is their goaltender in Erin Frankel. She by far is my favorite tender in the league right now. She's so good. She's played the most games. She got a 932 save percentage. She's just a rock star, and she's cool as. She's not like, and Marty, I say this lightly, she's not a weird goalie. Yeah. Or I shouldn't even say weird. She's not a normal goalie. She is a weird goalie because she's like any other player. She doesn't have those strange situations. She's so casual and just like lighthearted all the time. Nothing phases her. And as well on the back end, Megan Keller, star-studded defender, one heck of a shot. She's just cool as a cucumber back there as well, and feisty. That's the thing about this Boston team is they bring the grit, and it's like they're face washing you. They're in your face. They're giving you an extra nudge after every play. Like they really play gritty hockey, and they know how to stay in tight games and get wins in overtime or shootouts. So I'm a fan of this Boston team, in case you can't tell. But I'm also a big fan of the New York Sirens. Alex Carpenter's been out with an injury. I'm hoping she'll come back very soon and in time for this game, because she is one of the best forwards, I think, in this league that can not only generate goals, but create chances for her team on a consistent basis. She plays on a line with Sarah Fillier, who was the first overall draft pick in this past draft. Fillier is just a ridiculous hockey player. She packs a punch. She doesn't back down from anything. She's got hands. She can shoot. It's awesome. On the back end, they have Ella Shelton. She has been a force to be reckoned with, along with Jamie Bourbonnais. These two have just been probably I would say they're up there in two of the most fun defenders to watch in the league this year. And then on the back end, Corrine Schroeder, if she's playing a net, she recently got called up with Team Canada for the rivalry series to be one of their goaltenders. She had been battling for a spot with Toronto Scepter's goaltender, Kristen Campbell, and it kind of looks like she's edged her out lately. She's played fantastic this year. I think she's got two or three shutouts already on the season. So it's honestly, this is going to be a bloodbath. Both of these teams, like New York's got the New York swagger with that little bit of feistiness, and literally Boston just beats up people. So it's going to be an awesome game.
It's so this takeover tour, as you laid out, has been so incredible to be in 9 different cities, and obviously Buffalo is one of them on Sunday. And I just feel like it just keeps hockey in the conversation on more days of the week, right? When we have more to view. So with that being said, we would be remiss if we didn't ask you about US Canada tomorrow.
Oh yeah.
in the Four Nations final. And just, what it's like for you whenever these two countries go head to head, and how you feel on a game day when you're not even playing in it anymore.
Similarly to the way I feel when my beer league team is losing very badly. I get amped up. Like it's emotional, and it's like I said, it's a wiring in your brain and your pathway that I don't think ever goes away or withers up and eliminates itself. It's really cool, and I love the way that the round robin game was approached. I think the Kachuk brothers knew what everybody wanted and delivered quite perfectly. And of course, Canada had to buy in as well. I don't think we're going to see the 3 fights in 9 seconds in the final by any means. I'm pretty sure with all the injuries that are coming about and these players getting knocked up, every franchise is like, hey guys, just play hard, but like, we don't need y'all coming back, beat up and battered, which is fine. That being said, there's still going to be massive hits. There's still going to be huge plays. Goals are going to be celebrated. Like, they're going to go at each other. This is a for real rivalry that I think on the women's side has kind of fizzled out a little bit, just based on the fact that these women on the Canadian and American side really had to come together and band together to create this PWHL league. So they became pals. And there was a point where I was like, why is this going away? Like, what's happening here? And I was like, oh my gosh, they're all getting along. Like, why don't we hate each other anymore? Yeah. But then you got a player like Abby Murphy, who's going to be entering the league hopefully next year, and she brings that. So the fact that this is happening again on the men's side, and I think it does play into the fact that they truly haven't had a best on best against each other in a long time, and so someone needs to claim that, like, who is the underdog and who is the best. And I know it drives Americans nuts when Canadians say, like, this is our sport, like, you have to take it from us, when they're like, hold the phone here, like, we've got Austin Matthews, we got all the Hughes brothers, like, what are you guys talking about? You know what I mean? So I love it. I can't wait for it. What's my prediction? I'm not sure, but I think it'll be a 4-2 final. I don't know who takes it, but it'll be a 4-2 final.
Tessa, you've been in TV and radio and podcasting long enough to know you don't have to make a prediction. You just have to sit on the fence, and it's like good for everybody. So and talking about the podcast, we have about 30 seconds here. Jocks In Jills, like, you and Julia have gotten this platform going. It's fantastic. How's the season going, and what are we expecting for the next few weeks here?
It's going great. We drop episodes every Tuesday and Friday morning. What we do is we have our own little banter, shoot the breeze, and then we break down the goings on in the league, games, what happened, important things to know. And then we have an interview with players or coaches in the league, and we do it on a human level. It's kind of like sitting around having a beer with somebody. We got some good laughs that take place. It's less hockey, more personable stuff. So it's a ton of fun for everyone to get to know the players as people. That way, for people, if you don't have a team in your market, it's an easy way to find a player that you can relate with and then start cheering for that team.
That's a great insight today. People can learn more about your podcast and everything in women's hockey at the PWHL.com. Takeover happens this Sunday afternoon right here in Buffalo, 4 p.m. start at KeyBank. Enjoy tomorrow night's game. Continued success on the season, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, guys. Enjoy the game, everyone. It's going to be awesome.